Hello tutors, in this video I want to give you a quick overview of how to use Precocity in remote tutoring situations. Remote tutoring really isn't all that different from in-person tutoring, it's just that you're not in the same location with your student, so therefore you have to use technology to bring you together. So in-person tutoring, it's probably just about 3 steps. First, you start by meeting and sitting with your student at a table. Then you would access learning content, like opening up a book or browsing a website together on the same screen with your student. And then when it came to working and reviewing, you'd probably open up a pen and paper and start working on the table, working through problems with that child. But technology can do that as well. So instead of being in the same table with your student, you can use Skype to do video conferencing to be in the same area. And then instead of physically looking at the same book and flipping through pages or browsing on the same screen, you can use Precocity via screen sharing technology on Skype. And instead of using pencil and paper, you can use Whiteboard Fox as an electronic whiteboard. So these are the recommended pieces of software that we suggest. Skype for video conferencing, screen sharing in Skype with Precocity for browsing the remote content, and then working together on electronic whiteboard with Whiteboard Fox. And I think the best setup is for you to have 2 electronic devices. First, you'll have your computer with a webcam where you will use Skype and the Skype screen sharing technology. And then you should also have a tablet or a large smartphone that you can open up the whiteboard application so that you can write on it more naturally. So now let's go to my desktop where I have this setup already arranged. I have Skype on one side and I will have Whiteboard Fox on the other. Now note that in my setup I have Whiteboard Fox on my desktop, but my recommendation is that you actually have Whiteboard Fox open on a tablet. The other thing too that you should notice that I'm sharing my screen with you, and normally on my computer I have a lot of stuff open. I have my email open, my calendar, I have chat, I have Facebook or YouTube open as well. But if you're working with a student, you want to make sure that all of these things that could distract or might be embarrassing are removed from your screen. The other thing too is to note that when you do this setup in preparation for meeting with the student, you want to do it in a quiet, distraction-free environment. So coffee houses are a bad idea, or dorm rooms with unpredictable roommates are also a bad idea. So now let's look at Skype here on my right hand side. The first thing you want to do is of course ensure that you have a Skype account and that you know how to log into it. Do this before meeting with your student. Also before meeting with your student, you need to ensure that your technology works. So under Skype here, I'm on a Macintosh. I can go to audio and video settings, which you can see that my camera is working here. And you can also make a test call with Skype to ensure that your microphone is working. Again, to make your tutoring session smooth with your student, you should do all this technical checking before you meet with your student. And if possible, try to make sure that your student has also done this technical setup before you meet, just so that your meeting goes smoother. So with Skype here, you need to also ensure that your student is in your contacts, because you can't just randomly Skype with anybody. You have to send an invite and have them approve. So you need to do that before the meeting too. In my case, I've already set up another account here and approved it. Here's my other user. And I'm going to go ahead and initiate a video call by clicking on this video icon with my other user. So I'm going to accept the call. I'm going to turn off my microphone for this video so that I don't get that terrible beeping noise that you hear. The other thing that you should notice too is on my left hand side I have 2 main things open. I have my whiteboard open, and I also have my content that I want to review. In this case, it's an upper level practice test 7. So you want to make sure that you've got Skype open, you've got your whiteboard set up, and that you have the content that you want to review with your student ready to go before meeting with said student. So let's go now to our whiteboard. You want to make sure that you're comfortable with the tools available on the whiteboard, and that's primarily the drawing tool, which here has a different selection of colors that you can use, and the eraser, and the clear screen tool. The other thing too is that you want to be able to share this whiteboard with your student. Whiteboard Fox is super simple in that you don't have to have a username or password for you or your student. And to share the whiteboard, you just need to give them the unique URL of your classroom. You can do that by just copying and pasting it from the URL bar in your screen browser, or you can go here under Options and click on Share to get the URL. Also under Options is where you'll find the Add Text if you want to type, or the Add Picture, and I'll go through that briefly in a moment too. So let's look at the whiteboard. I'm going to open up my tablet. You can't see it on the video here, but you'll notice that using an electronic whiteboard makes it so simple to work through problems. So let's look at a lower level IC problem I have, for example, set up. 70 minus 28 divided by n equals 68. You'll notice that almost as soon as I'm writing the content, it's showing up on the whiteboard. You can even upload images that you want to work with on a student. For example, the passages in the reading comprehension and Picosity is simply an image, or the math diagrams and the questions are also images. You can right-click on those and download those to your desktop to upload to the whiteboard. All you need to do is go to Options, click on Add Pic, and then select the image that you want to upload. In this case, I'm going to select a passage that I had prepared earlier. I'm going to go ahead and expand it so that I can see it more easily. And then my student over here could work on it just as if I were writing on a passage in person. And so let's say Chairman Mao, somewhere I need to highlight the question refers to lines 18 through 27, and so forth. So there are a lot of great things that you can do with the whiteboard. So now let's say that you've finished doing everything that you need to do. The one thing I want to emphasize is that you need to make sure that you don't have any hot mic issues. And to do that, you need to make sure that everything is closed. And I recommend simply quitting each application that you're using. So until next time,